similar, but
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, outsiders of all ages, let's go. It is SEC time. Texas is about to play Florida. We'll do 2 outsider shows for you this week, debuting on Tuesday and Friday mornings at 10. Whenever you're checking us out, we appreciate it. It's the Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho Outdoors. Couple of things we got to remind you of. First off, the Natty Back Guarantee is almost over because you got to get the shirt ordered by October the 1st. Longhorn fans, here are your 3 choices. If you order one of these shirts and the Longhorns win it all, you're going to get a refund. Don't forget, PonchoOutdoors.com/outsiders for $10 off your first order. Also, they've gotten your letters. They've heard your criticism. They've heard what you wanted. They've got polo shirts at Poncho now. The field polo is out there, and one of them's called the jalapeno cream cheese. Come on, people. The dinner bell, the 410, and the Dove stool. They're all waiting for you at PonchoOutdoors.com. Make sure you go /outsiders to get $10 off your first order. Polo shirts, gentlemen.
Is the Dove stool referring to the feces of a bird?
No.
The stool you sit on when you shoot birds.
Oh, I'm not sorry.
Come on, Jason.
I'm not
even a hunter, and I know that reference.
It's not a shirt named after poop.
I'm more of a bird feces kind of guy than a hunter. Sorry, my bad.
That is a weird thing to say. That guy that said the weird thing is Jason Dick. We got Chance Mock. We got Bo Edge. I'm Chad Hastings. Bye week, gentlemen. Got a chance to breathe a little bit before we get there. Bo is pointing.
Just so y'all know, you don't have to worry about October 1st. I preemptively put in your shirt orders for our allotment. Jason has the white with the Longhorn coming, although it's going to be a while because it was back ordered.
Oh.
Chad, your Aggie-themed hullabaloo is en route.
Oh, how about that?
Okay.
Refund coming with an Aggie National Championship, kids.
I don't know if they give a refund when we didn't buy them.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You get all your money back.
We're using credit. I don't know if maybe they give us credit back.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
I will get another shirt.
That should count.
I will take it though.
Yeah, Poncho, when the Longhorns win, not only I want you to send me money like now.
I will take it. The Aggie Natty Back is a solid look. I will take that. The hullabaloo. I'll take that one.
Hey, while we're discussing shirt orders, this is not on-air business, but let's make it that anyway. Bo, I appreciate you ordering my stuff all the time. Just for the record, I am a regular fit, not a slim fit. I don't know what about me in the 20 years that you've known me, gave you the 25 years, gave you the idea that I would be a slim fit kind of guy. But yeah, I'm going to have to, it's going to take a couple Atkins weeks before I can put on that last one.
If it's still in the wrapper, when you come pick up your next allotment, I'll get it right. I don't know if I clicked the wrong button or.
Yeah. Regular fit. Okay.
User error.
I consider myself lucky to be regular. All right.
We've got a Mock 5 Top 5 coming up here in a little while. The theme this week is surprises because Texas fans, you got to sit back in a bye week and just watch college football play out. And there certainly were some surprises, good and bad, around the sport. So we'll get to some of that team-wise a little later on. But first, gentlemen, from each of you, I just want something, anything that surprised you during the bye week. It could be that you just sat and watched football and you were surprised at how much you cried because the Longhorns weren't playing. Anything is allowed.
Oh, I can start.
Good or bad. Chance Mock, give me something that surprised you on the bye week.
I'll tell you what surprised me was how little joy I had in my life Friday and Saturday when for months and months and months I have been looking forward to the joys of Bethpage Black, and I've been looking forward so much. But then all of a sudden, on back-to-back days, we march out Morikawa and English together, and we just do things that are not good. And we roll out our number one player in the world who, by the way, was 22 under through 3 holes and still lost all 3 rounds. Man. I woke up early Friday morning and I couldn't wait. I could not wait. I was so excited. And you get on Twitter early in the morning and you got all the sun's coming up and the crowds are cheering and you think it's just going to be a great day. And it just was. That was my biggest surprise letdown for the entire weekend.
Wow, that certainly had to be one. Jason, Dick, how about you? Give me a surprise from the bye week.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Ryder Cup since Chance brought it up. I was not surprised by the result. I'll tell you, I was surprised to learn that the Europeans were the underdog. I believe plus 170. That's a sharp bet if you could have gotten it in there. I mean, it was the same team that beat us 2 years ago. They just swapped out a twin. I wouldn't have even noticed if you didn't tell me. But I was surprised, not that the Europeans kicked our ass. I was surprised to find out how soft Rory McIlroy and the rest of the Europeans are. We've been talking forever about you're going to New York City, bro. It's going to be like a hockey game. They're going to give you some mouth, all right? And the European team is softer than a bow edge tee shot. Boom, roasted. What? You've never heard the F word before, Rory? All right? You got real Shooter McGavin energy coming out of you, all right? How am I supposed to putt with that going on, Doug? And this from a country where they routinely say the C word, okay? You're just allowed to say the C word at the market, all right? And you guys, because they're chanting F you, Rory, you guys are going to lose your mind. Get out of here, okay? I was surprised to see what bitches the champion European team it was.
All right, little Ryder Cup flair to start the show this week. Bo Edge, what surprised you?
Well, if we're going Ryder Cup specific, what surprised me was how poorly Keegan Bradley did managing his team and knowing who his guys were and putting – I'm not saying you had to play all young guys, but you know what was – don't try to do what worked and didn't work in years past just because it's the easy route. You have 12 guys – put them together in pairings that make sense. Like Bryson DeChambeau Bryson DeChambeau and Scotty should never be on the same team. Scotty is quiet and methodical and goes through his business, and Bryson has a damn shooter gun shooting off shirts into the crowd if he could. Like, that is not a good pairing, even if they're both really good. They won't play off of each other. You need guys that feed energy off each other. And that, I think that was just one of them. The Morikawa English thing makes absolutely no sense. It got nailed the first time. Why the hell did he roll it out again? Like, they already proved it was not functional. But that's neither. The thing here's what I will say about that, though, Jason. Words, fine. Some of the American fans did go a little too far.
Don't throw stuff, man. Don't throw stuff.
I'm a Rory guy, and I know that. And he did look like a bitch. But if somebody hit my wife in the head with a beer can, I'd be a pissed off son of a bitch too.
Yeah.
That's where it goes too far. It can be like a hockey game, but there is no point where people should be throwing things at females. And if your aim is that bad that you weren't aiming at her, then don't throw things. Like, sorry, that's just
don't throw it at anybody.
It was a premature dick move because the beer was slapped out of his hand. You could see it.
Well, then the guy that. I understand after the fact, but in the moment, that's a shitty look. Sorry,
it looks pitiful.
Like, if this happened over in Europe and Scotty Scheffler's wife Meredith was walking and got beer doused on her, we would be flipping our lids about how stupid that was. Right. Did Rory act like a bitch? Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Let's be honest, fellas. With the way it came out, with the result, for me, this is where I thought the fans at Bethpage Black would be in terms of the way they acted. That's about where they ended up. Yeah. Are we really going to play? We can't play the shot game. I agree with Jason on some level here. Rory definitely can't play the shot game. And don't do the old man. Don't do what my mom would do. You shouldn't root against the other team. You should root for your team. Thanks, Grandma. That's not how it works at the Ryder Cup.
And
we knew that, again, like Chance said, we talked about this for months. Hey, where are they coming? It's in America. Are they going to go to Arizona?
Are they going to Whistling Straits? No.
Are they going to go out to Torrey? No. They're going to Bethpage Black. Oh, you mean the place where Sergio? Yep, that place. Oh, you mean the place where they were yelling? Yep, that. Oh God, the fact that a couple people got chunked, Rory got cussed at, and his wife got hit with a beer, as long as it wasn't a bottle, that's about par for me. That's about par for what I expected.
I agree. I'm saying, and if you saw the post-game interview when all the team is up there at their tables, they're all joking about the fans and stuff like that. So I think some of it gets overblown in the quotes and the way that things get cut and spur of the moment. But like I said, I'm not defending Rory. He did act like a bitch. And so did Shane Lowry. And so did many of the other ones. And you know what? We'll go back over there in 2 years, and some of our guys will act like bitches too, because that's how it happened when we went over to Rome and our guys were complaining.
And the back and forth is awesome, by the way. When a fan yells at Rory and Rory stripes that shot on, 16 that day, and he put it within 6 feet, and he tells him to go F himself, that's awesome. That's the Ryder Cup.
Well, Bryson's caddy chirping at Justin Rose when Justin Rose was in the right. Bryson's caddy was trampling over his spot, and Rose asked him, "Can I go ahead and putt?" And then they get in that little whatever the hell it was, a golf fight that was. It looked like a golf fight.
That was what a golf fight looks like.
That's what you see on the internet that people really do.
Well, that's a hockey player involved in a golf fight.
Dude, we all have to remember this is an event that always has those great goofy etiquette things, and there's a moment where Sevi Ballesteros got over on the American team by literally ripping the Velcro on his glove at a key moment when a guy was about to that's what the Ryder Cup's about. Here's also what I need to know, gentlemen. Bo, I don't need you to explain the rule to me because I frankly don't care.
It's dumb.
Are you all, a show of hands, who's in favor of there being an envelope rule in the Ryder Cup? No? I love that little detail. I don't even care what's in the envelope. I was so excited to hear about it. Bo, you want to get rid of this thing? We got to change it. What do we do?
Well, two things. One, on Thursday, we're going to have our own version of the envelope game that Chance has come up with a prediction thing where you're going to have to write it and put it in an envelope. That will debut on Thursday, sponsored by Battalion Fire Protection, of course. The envelope thing is stupid because the fact that a player should be able to say he's hurt and not participate and it ends up as a tie is the dumbest rule for even golf. That I'm a big fan of golf. It's the dumbest rule ever. If you get hurt in a 3-day competition and can't perform, sorry, your team loses.
Wait a second. Hold on. Jason and I are confused. That's exactly what the Cowboys defense did, right? We can't participate, so it's a tie. That's not how it works?
We them boys.
I'm confused, Jason.
A tie was the best outcome you could have hoped for in that scenario.
I'm pumped today, man. I'm pumped.
Hey, Jason, you can help me with this. Because I was very disappointed in this. Last night during Sunday Night Football, after watching another Chris Sims commercial for Best Buy, I was looking forward to we had great shows like Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson, and we had Shakira, and we've had some great Maroon 5 I thought was good. I'm going to be real honest. The weekend was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting to see who we're going to get, and the NFL is going to throw at us Bad Bunny.
It's going to be a hell of a show.
I'm confused as to why you think I can help on this front.
Because you worked in the music side of radio business.
That's pretty far from the Bad Bunny universe.
But you're just 3 doors down.
I don't get it necessarily. Isn't this the Taylor Swift year? Why is it not Taylor Swift? You're running out of chances to possibly have the Swift-Kelsey Super Bowl. But yeah, I don't know. Bad Bunny, I understand, is a big deal in those circles. I think he's like the 4th best actor in Happy Gilmore too. That's not really a testament to anything. I was very perplexed by that decision as well.
So this is how I have friends in my life that spin things. He texted me during the show and said, "So is the idea if we put 2 of the most unwatchable teams on Monday night, we'll just fix it by adding 2 more unwatchable teams?" And I said, "The NFL choosing Bad Bunny. What else did you expect?" He goes, "I don't mind it at all. I used to actually have to watch the halftime show, but now I can use that time to get some food and fix a new drink."
There it is. NFL fans will have an opinion about the halftime show. You can set your watch by it. It is The Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho Outdoors. They don't play
Thunderstruck, Chad.
What's that?
Whatever halftime show they have will be better than if they play Thunderstruck at the end of the third quarter.
Oh, come on.
I didn't know I needed it till just now. I'd like Bad Bunny to do Thunderstruck. That actually would be
okay. That would work.
Yeah, that I could actually get into.
With a burnt orange drone show that only half the stadium can see.
Yes, that'll be good. All right, we'll get into some more surprises in the form of college football teams here in just a second. First, let's start thanking our great partners. We'll start with Covert Ford.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Covert, and since 1909, the Covert family has been committed to Austin's community. For 116 years, we've grown with Texas, driving progress, building trust, and serving the Austin community. Whether it's the all-new 2025 F-150 or the versatile 2025 Ford Maverick, we're here to help you find the perfect fit, just like we've done for generations. At Covert Ford, it's more than cars. It's about family, service, and a legacy of trust. Visit covertford.com and become part of our story.
Covert Ford right there on the hat. If you like this burnt orange Covert Ford hat, limited time only. If you go in and buy a vehicle, you can get a hat. But obviously, you're not going to buy a vehicle because they give you a hat, even if it's a great hat. We added it up the other day, 12 vehicles in the last 15 years from Covert Ford for me, my wife, my daughter now, my mother bought one because they take care of you, because it's a easy process from start to finish. You tell them what you want and there's no games. Like if you just are right here, this is what I want. They give you the price, you get it done. Service department takes care of you. In and out, less than an hour, got my new truck, traded in the old one, got a new one. It was great. Go see Chris Abbott right there at 183. He's an outsider. Tell him you're an outsider fan, and I promise you he'll give you a good deal. It's Covert Ford on 183.
There we go. Shout out to Covert Ford. Also, shout out to Integro Construction Services. It is time for a Mock 5. Top 5. He's a quarterback, and there's surprising things. Mock 5. Top 5. All right. All right, Bo's going to tell you more about Integro Construction Services here in a little bit. In fact, I'll throw that ticker up here. We'll even throw a logo for you. Chance, let's jump into this thing here. It's Surprise Week. Let's go 5 surprising teams. The rules are simple. Good and bad surprises are allowed. We will even allow an NFL team if it was that surprising to you. Top 5 surprise teams from the bye week. What'd you see?
All right, so this was kind of an interesting one. We're a month in, and we always talk about polls don't matter really till you get to late October and everything else. But I think it's fair to talk about who is surprising and who's not. For my minus, they have surprised me in a negative way. I'm going to say Texas. I hate it. I'm sorry, Texas fans. You can be upset with me. The potential's still there. I haven't quit on them.
Texas is fine.
Yeah.
Texas. Fine.
Yeah. Okay. Because I don't think any honest Texas fan can look in the mirror and say that this team has looked anything like what we expected them to look like this season. Has the defense done well? Yes. Has the offense left things to be? I don't know. I
was trying to say half the teams look like what we thought we were going to get.
I think Bo's telling you to steal third. Here we go.
Don't do what the Astros do because you lose.
He didn't give me the indicator. But no, but yeah, Texas for me, it's been a surprise. I did not think that they would struggle the level of which they have on offense. I thought that they would have done a little bit better in working out that goal line offense like we talked about for the last 2 off seasons after the Washington debacle and then the Ohio State. So that was a surprise in a bad way. Number 4, and a thumbs up, and to show that money can buy you love. Our friends out in West Texas and Texas Tech, I did pick them to win the Big 12. They look a lot better than I thought that they were going to look, though. And this past weekend, they look good.
Okay.
Number 3, thumbs up to our friends, the Fighting Diego Pavios.
Mm-hmm.
Vanderbilt. If I would have never thought Vanderbilt would be rolling in, going to play Alabama in Tuscaloosa undefeated. Didn't see that one coming. Thumbs down. We're jumping to the NFL because I don't know what's happening to the best roster in football, but the Baltimore Ravens look absolutely, completely lost. It is rough. And they are the best roster in football, in my opinion. I know the Eagles are great, but yeah. Number 1, I think this one's pretty self-explanatory, but they reside in South Carolina, and they are the fighting Clemson Tigers.
Yeah.
Absolute shocker how rough that team looks right now.
That is a shocker. All right, Jason Dick, your Texas Longhorns at 5, Tech, Vandy, Baltimore, and Clemson as the 5 most surprising teams for Chance right now. What do you do with it?
This is an excellent list, Chance. I do want to say from the beginning that this today's Mock 5 Top 5 is being presented under protest because these guys said I had to pick a football team, as I have many WNBA takes, and the Houston Astros. Baseball season just started for me as the playoffs are here, and I checked the schedule today. I don't know, do they got a bye or something? What's going on here?
Well, they got a bye.
Yeah.
Consecutive.
Surprised to learn the Astros are not making the playoffs, but
They got a bye is what they got.
We didn't blow it as bad as the freaking Tigers.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
As far as the football teams go, I will say I'm glad you put Texas in there, Chance, because I would have had to do it. Like, you know, as high as hopes were for the Longhorns and for Arch coming into the season to be a month deep now. You know, my 6-1 ticket on Arch Manning to win the Heisman Trophy, you can now get him for 30-1. Well, so yeah, I like that. Tech as well is very good. You know, Texas Tech, it's probably the only Big 12 team that when Texas was leaving, I was like, you know what, I'm probably gonna miss those little bastards. And yeah, for them to, I mean, they played a total nobody week 1, stomped them. They played mostly a nobody week 2, stomped them. A legitimate nobody week 3, Oregon State stomped them. But then going to Utah and kicking their ass in the second half, nobody does that. Nobody does that. And now I guess they got a quarterback problem. But I'm impressed with them. I don't know what to do here. You know what? I'm going to eliminate Vanderbilt on principle alone. Okay. I will not. I refuse. I refuse to have any emotion whatsoever about Vanderbilt football. And I'm going to put in, I don't know. You took the ones that I like. Maybe this is cheating, but how about the Oregon Ducks and specifically Dante Moore, a guy who 2 weeks ago I didn't know who that was because I'm bad at this job. But also he'd never played, right? He'd never played real snaps before. I think he's the best quarterback in the league, in the country right now. And yeah, some of those passes that he threw against Penn State, which people are trying to talk me into believing that Penn State is an elite team. LOL. Dante Moore looked freaking good, and I think he's the best quarterback out there right now. So I'll say Dante Moore in Oregon. You take the Vandy spot.
Oregon. All right, Oregon jumps into number 3.
Oregon's in 3. And real quick, I just want you to. I got a question for you. At what point, Jason? To that point, I mean, let's go back. Dylan Gabriel 1 year, Bo Nix. At what point do we start going, what in God's name is Oregon's offense doing, and why are we not doing the same damn thing?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of hate it, Chance, that this is what it's. I mean, it's like it's kind of fantasy football in that you just are able to go out and get a different quarterback every year. And like, I hated the idea of the kids not being able to transfer, having to sit out a year or whatever. But yeah, like Dylan Gabriel all of a sudden was like, "Hey, I'm in Oklahoma City." Quack quack, and you know, and then they lose him to the NFL, and they just go and you know they've got this guy who they got from UCLA. Who's badass as well. I just don't like it. All right. I'm an old school guy.
But here's where, and if I'm wrong here, correct me, but here's where Dante Moore should be given a ton of applause in this current landscape of people bouncing around and the Nicos and money. He was the first one that Oregon got when he left UCLA. And then Dylan Gabriel threw his hat in the ring and Dan Lanning said, Dante, you're going to sit out a year because we like this Dylan guy who's a senior and can be our leader and take us to the promised land. He didn't go into the portal. He didn't demand more money. He did his job. He waited. Now he has the job. And I never root for the Oregon Ducks, but I can root for Dante Moore because that's admirable. In today's day and age where any kind of adversity means I'm leaving, Dante Moore took it and went through it.
Maybe the year, as the backup, learning the system has served him extra well. I can't believe that Dante Moore wouldn't beat Dylan Gabriel beat him out in a quarterback contest. Dylan Gabriel was, what did the Browns pick him with in the 5th round, 4th round? Third? No way. Was
Third
the
round.
third round?
Third round.
Yeah. And Shador fell to the 5th.
Oh, okay.
Shador was the 5th.
I think Dante Moore will be the first quarterback taken in the next NFL draft.
All right, so Oregon is at the number 3 spot. Bo Edge, what do you do with this list now? Clemson's on top, Oregon, Tech, Texas, Baltimore sitting at number 2. What do you do?
I'm getting rid of Oregon because they were a top 10 team to start the year. They're not that surprising. Oh, Penn State choked in a game that they were favored. Oh, no, Penn State didn't win a game against a ranked opponent.
That's what they get for wearing the damn blue jerseys.
Yeah, no, Penn State deserved to lose for wearing the wrong jerseys. On whiteout, you should wear all white, and Oregon could have worn the cool jerseys, and it'd been fun. No, Oregon's out because we knew Oregon was good. They have an NFL talented roster with $40 million in NIL money. Here's my surprise team, and it's a surprise to me because we thought they were an aberration last year, and yet they're doing it again. The Fighting Kurt Cignettis and Indiana continue to be a top 10 team when everybody thought it was a blip on the radar screen last year because they lost to Notre Dame and they lost to Ohio State. Well, they came back, they found a new quarterback, and they just keep winning. And yes, they only beat Iowa. I'm not saying it was a big win, but Indiana, I'm going to stop putting them in the box of teams that don't belong. They keep proving they belong because sometimes if you have the right coach and the right mindset, you can overcome some talent gaps until you get into the semifinals.
So, real quick before I try to figure this out in the end, was the Indiana coach at the end of the game griping about the Ryder Cup or some kind of other ruling that I'm not familiar? What was he griping about at the end of the game? At the end of the game, he was talking about the game, and then he stopped and he said something like, I have to figure out what something is. And I'm like, what is he talking about?
I think the kids in the stands were yelling 6-7 or something, and he didn't know what that meant.
Maybe that's it. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. This is really the first circular curve around that we're going to have here. Cause this number 3 spot is going to change 3 different times now. So Chance, you're going to be very excited about this. I'm bringing Vandy back. Vandy is coming back to the 3 slot. Why? Because I want to make sure that Texas fans are focused on this next series of games because you don't need to be peeking ahead to Athens. You need to be focused on every little step of this thing. Florida, Oklahoma, don't forget Kentucky, don't forget Mississippi State, who just took Tennessee to overtime, and definitely don't forget Mr. Pavia and Vanderbilt. I can't wait for that game this week. Can they go to T-Town and pull off? Everybody's going to overcook Bama now because they just beat Georgia, and all Vanderbilt is doing is winning. And they're winning with substantive football. They're winning with that guy at quarterback. The running back's pretty nasty. LBJ grad, Cedric Alexander, what's up? That tight end, that weird, freaky Eli Stowers who used to be at A&M and then he wasn't, and now he's some badass tight end. That's a really interesting team. I think they deserve to be in this discussion. So I'm going to leave Chance's original list as the final list. I'll let Texas be number 5. That's Chance, not me, Texas fans. Texas Tech at 4 on the.
I'd have moved them higher.
What's that?
I said my next move would have been moving Texas higher up the list.
I'm not doing that. That's too far. I think that would be overcooking. Overcooking the negative side. Don't be negative. Bo Edge, don't be negative. We're going Vandy at 3. Ravens at 2, and I definitely agree the Clemson Tigers need to be number 1 in terms of the what the hell kind of surprise.
Yeah,
Tyler's running crazy right now.
Yeah, Tyler's losing his ever-loving mind.
He has a shirt with Dabo's picture on it that says, yeah, this is me, Tyler.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's my final decision.
I am not a Vandy believer because I have paid no attention to them. But I am a believer in the people out in the desert who make the lines. And Alabama, what world am I living in, is only a 10.5-point favorite at home versus Vanderbilt.
It's a perfect line. Jason,
I'm going to pile it on Alabama.
Jason, Bama cannot effectively run the football, and Vanderbilt held the ball for 42 minutes last year. Do not fool yourself into believing that Vanderbilt beat Bama last year with a fluke, with some sort of trick. Oh, did you see the hook and ladder? No, they smashed them. They beat them up for 4 quarters and
Guys,
held the ball for 42 minutes.
I cannot reveal my sources here, but I have on good authority that somebody in the college football playoff committee, they have already said that if a team has to withdraw, they have written down on a piece of paper in a sealed envelope the team that they will eliminate from the playoff so as to make the thing even, and it's Vanderbilt. Okay, Vanderbilt is the team in the sealed envelope. Okay, they are the team.
Jason,
if it's not them, it's Indiana.
Weird, like Victor Hovland.
Okay,
hold on, Jason. Have you seen the joy that was the Theo Vaughn and Diego Pavia back and forth on Twitter?
Oh no. I'm gonna have to find.
Did it ever happen? Did he get the date?
It has not happened yet, but apparently, they had a gentleman's agreement that if Vanderbilt they won, right, Bo?
Yes.
That Theo Vaughn got to take Diego Pavia's mom, by the way, hot, on a date.
I'm really glad you just said on a date. I thought you were going to stop there. What do you mean he gets to take his mom? What does that mean? He hostage?
Well, Jason's the one that said he was going to smash that bet, but I'm just saying. So Diego's mom. So then Theo Vaughn, or Diego responds back to Theo Vaughn and said, "I told you this was a 2-part deal. I would hook you up with my mom, but you had to hook me up with who was it, Bo? One of those, some Instagram model or whatever." So then
I don't know who that. I don't know the.
Yeah. So Theo Vaughn is then going all over Twitter, tweeting at this person saying, "Hey, we're friends. I need you to go out with my buddy Theo just for one. Diego just for one get a date, so that I can go out on a date with his mom," which is freaking awesome.
It was supposed to be a double date where they went in together, so Diego was going to be on a date with Theo Vaughn and his mom.
That is fantastic.
Double dating with your mom. Look, I know the quarterback, big man on campus calculus. You can get away with a lot, but a double date with your mom.
What about act like your mom hadn't gone on a date with you before?
Hey, how about the Jets quarterback a couple years ago?
Date.
Remember the Jets quarterback a couple years ago?
Zach Wilson's mom?
Zach Wilson.
Just to bring this full circle, we all know there's only one person that would gladly go on a double date with his mom, and it's Dabo. Okay. Bo, and that's because they're going to the same place that night, right? They're going to, he can give her a ride. Bo, tell the folks about Integro Construction Services. That is your Mach 5 top 5.
987-1273 is the number. You can scan the QR code right there to go to the website. Integro is the only licensed dealer of the Go Nano technology, specifically the Go Nano technology. There are other variations of it, but this is the best. 150 mile-an-hour wind resistant. Add layers of years of life to your roof. Protect your roof. Don't go buy a new roof. And I work in the insurance industry. Trust me, you're not going to be getting hail damage claims for long. They aren't going to happen anymore. Just protect the roof you have. I like to say this is like a steroid shot to your roof. It reinvigorates the shingles, and I'm not a chemist, but it makes your roof gain 5 to 10 years of life, and it costs less than your deductible. One day, no trash in your yard, boom, done. Integro is the answer to your roof issues, especially as we head into winter. You don't want it to get messed up when the snow and the sleet and all that stuff comes. 987-1273 is the number to call for Integro Construction Services.
Yes, indeed. Thanks to Integro Construction Services for sponsoring that Mach 5 Top 5 each and every week. We appreciate them for that. It is The Outsiders. Remember, 2 shows this week will premiere, obviously, Tuesday, 10 a.m., whenever you're checking us out. Thank you for that. And then Friday at 10 a.m., we'll sneak in the prediction show for the big game, Texas and Florida. So our predictions for the game, we'll save those for that point. At this point, as we're talking, nothing official on injuries out of the SARC press conference this week. Remember, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night, there will be that discussion. So when we come to for the Friday show, we will have a couple of those official injury reports. So Wisner, Baxter, Mosley. I think the big focus is on offense. We'll know a little bit more later in the week on those guys. Trey Wisner would be massive if Texas could have him back this week.
Bo shaking
you don't think so, Bo?
I don't think Wisner plays this week.
What?
If you just listen to the way Sark was pretty evasive with not in a bad way, but like he was kind of just like Trey's working hard to get back in condition.
That is so weird. It's so weird, Bo. You and Jeff Ketchum heard it the exact same way. I heard it the opposite way. When he said it, I actually felt positive vibes. I went, "Oh yeah, no, that's not," because he didn't say no, and he didn't. I was like, "Oh no, that's."
I just think he doesn't want to be painted. I don't think he wants to paint himself in a corner, right? I think that's what it is.
I don't think he likes to play the cat and mouse game about who's going to play and who's not going to play. So sometimes you have to, like, you can go back to like Quinn Ewers injuries throughout the time. You could tell when Quinn was going to go and when he wasn't based on how he set up the next statements and who he set them up about. Like when Quinn wasn't going to play, he'd move into Malik's doing a great job in practice of learning and growing. And with Wisner, he drove, when the question was done, he drove right into the other running backs. Like, so I don't think Wisner's going to play. Personal opinion, I don't think he's going to play. I don't think Baxter's going to play. I think we're going with the crew we got.
Okay. I want to preface this comment by saying that I know basically nothing about the press conference tendencies of almost every coach in America, but I think Sark is number one at having a press conference where he tells you nothing.
Yeah. He is. And it's an art. It is, because you don't want to paint yourself into a corner. You don't want to cause yourself any extra headaches that are unnecessary. Those unforced errors don't need to be there. And Sark is great at just talking around a question and not giving you a true answer.
And Jason, his true power is going to be felt next week. He set it up perfectly this week with he was asked about Wisner. He said a little bit about Wisner that Bo is talking about, but he really didn't say, like you said, didn't say anything. But he also basically said, you're wasting a question if you ask me now because we've got this injury report every week. So the real test is next Monday. Texas OU week, will that media actually show up? Let's say there's a player that's a little banged up, an obvious player you'd ask. Will they actually show up and not ask him? Because today, no one, after he said that, nobody asked about Baxter. Nobody asked about Mosley. They could have just asked, hey, did they practice? He wasn't asked. So you're right, Jason. He's the master of what I call effectively boring. And then he's also great at it, and he's got that group perfectly trained to know when to back off. Because when you then go ask those media members, well, why didn't y'all ask this? It's like, because we know what he would have said. And I was like, wow, he's got you guys perfectly trained. He's got them right where he wants them.
No, I think next week will be a slightly different animal with it being Texas OU. I think even if they know what the answer is going to be, they're going to ask the question because the B-roll for the Texas-Oklahoma footage on the news is a lot more important than the Texas-Florida. So I think they'll ask the question next week, Chad. It won't tell. Like, we'll see. But I definitely think they're in Sark's perfect world. Wisner starts against Oklahoma, not against Florida. And
both.
I disagree with that. I think in a perfect world, he'd like to get him a game to get his legs underneath him before he goes to Oklahoma.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying if Wisner's 75%, he doesn't want to run him into the Florida defense in the swamp and have him at 50% for Oklahoma. He thinks he has enough with the running backs. And the way Sark's been playing this cat and mouse game throughout the year, I think he thinks he can beat Florida right now. I genuinely believe he thinks that this is going to be a tough game, but the Texas will handle their business. And he will. I'm hoping he doesn't go into that Sark mentality of holding crap back and saving it. He needs to go full throttle against the Gators. But if Lagway really isn't there and they don't have a quarterback, he saw that story last year at our house. Like them without a quarterback, no matter how good their defense is, the defense gets demoralized, the defense gets tired, and he thinks we can run up and down the field on him.
See, you know what I'd love to see for once? Everybody talks about holding stuff back. I'd love to see them do the Patriots used to do it all the time. They would get up 2 scores, and then they would start running things that were just wild and out there that they were never going to go into a tight game, but they were putting stuff on tape that other teams had to go start preparing for, that they had no intention to ever use, but they start putting things on tape that now people, whereas when you're just hiding stuff and you're doing this bland blah, 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 like I'd rather them have to over-prepare and prepare for a lot of stuff. That was one of the things that I argued about with Vince and I, that I felt like, or Vince and me would be the accurate English.
Yep.
But with
The
Vince
whole
and me
sentence was off from the start.
no, that I truly believe that, when we were going into Oklahoma, I don't think they ever once practiced for me and 5 wide receivers. I think they looked and said, hey, we're going to go against Vince. He's not throwing the ball. He can't beat us. We're going to play with 9 in the box. Good luck for you. Whereas if they had any semblance and they could only dedicate half of that time to learning the zone read, and they had to spend the other half of the time trying to figure out how to cover 5 wide route concepts, that presents a big problem. Because what's the most valuable thing any team has in between games? It's the time. You've only got a limited amount of time. And if you overload them with shit they have to think about, that's a very good thing.
Well, you know what fan base is not talking about their offense holding plays back right now? Oregon. Because they run a whole lot of interesting plays. The fan bases that talk like that are the fan bases of an offense that they don't like. And I've heard Texas fans say it so much, Chance, it drives me nuts. I'm done getting like upset about it, but it's one of the silliest things that's ever been said. And it will be said next week. It'll be said if Texas beats Florida, like, in some let's say it's like 21-13 or something close. Texas fans will say they're holding something back for OU. They'll convince themselves of it because it helps them sleep.
But you know why? You know why partially? Because if the opposite holds true and Texas, I'm not saying this is not my prediction. I'm just saying Lagway's hurt. Texas just gets it this week, and Arch goes off, and Texas wins 41-7.
Mm-hmm.
And then Oklahoma doesn't go as according to plan. You know what every fan will say? Sark used all the good plays against Florida when we didn't need to.
Right. He showed too much. That's
why
problem,
that mentality exists, because Texas fans are dipshits about this stuff.
Well,
it's
every fan base.
Bias
all of them.
in its worst form. No matter what the result on the field is, half the Texas fan base will blame it on something that happened with either the coach, the quarterback, or the prior week. Every single time Texas doesn't meet this bar, and I'm guilty of it sometimes too, but it will happen no matter what.
Yeah.
And Jason, this is an analogy I think you will like.
Oh,
I think what Stark is doing, unfortunately, is like a good but not great poker player who, if you play with him long enough, you realize he check raises every time he has the goods. When he flops the straight, it's a check and then a hammer bet. And then once you play with him for 2 months, you're like, every time he check hammer bets, he's got it. But that guy is so risk averse or whatever in his head, he never pulls that stunt out when he's got a bag of crap. When he's got a busted straight that didn't hit, then he pulls that move. The great poker player realizes that about himself and uses it to his advantage, because then he does play that move in a big spot.
Speaking of good moves,
is the guy that I really hope he is. That's what I want to see against Florida this week. Like, I want to see them run some gimmicky stuff. If it works, great. But if no other reason than to show Brent Venables, these are the type of things we do, so then you play off of it the next week. If you do run a cool, like, they ran a really amazing play in the Miami game earlier. Now it's Miami and the Jets, so it doesn't matter. But they ran a fake jet sweep, fake handoff to Devin Achane, and Tua, while looking dead forward, it was a no look all the way, flicks it 15 feet behind his back to another receiver that was coming across late and hits him in stride. Now it got 8 or 9 yards, but it was really like the defense didn't know what was coming. So if you do something like that, then the next time you fake the pitch and you throw it to Tyreek Hill for 60 yards. That's how the Dolphins were good 2 years ago, because they kept showing things that made people design against that.
Or you put a tackle out on the sideline, just throw it to him.
That was awesome. By the way, that play made the weekend.
Yep.
Did you
Setting
say
it up?
Big boy could have scored.
Chance, you mentioned the Patriots earlier. I've never seen a college football team run a New England Patriots play that's more New England Patriots than what Bama did on that one. Because lining up is one thing. Throwing it to him is a whole nother ball game.
Nobody in the stadium thought he was getting that ball.
Exactly.
Nobody.
And that's why you do. When the Patriots lined up in the Super Bowl and they put their running back split wide against the other team's best corner, nobody in their right mind thought they'd throw it to him. They did, and they got 7 yards out of it. I'll never forget that play, and I'll never forget Bama having enough guts to do that. It's part of why they won.
Jason, in a very big moment of the Georgia-Alabama game, Alabama sent their 365-pound right tackle in motion to the far side and threw a wide receiver screen.
Nice.
Dude just ran over everybody.
We big guys are oftentimes more agile than you think. All right.
This guy was moving.
And you're not as fragile.
He didn't get in the end zone.
Feet,
That's
Jason.
right. More agile,
bear.
less fragile.
Dancing bear. You know how hard it is to tackle a refrigerator? They found out.
The only problem was when some corner goes right for his shin and dislocates his kneecap and he's out for the year. That's when that's a problem.
A little corner, you bounce right off.
Yeah, that little corner is not going to do anything to him. He's going to just boom.
Golly.
I'd have made a business decision.
Like, I don't know why you just don't run that play every single time you're inside the 5-yard. Like, Sark, take a note. 1st and 5 inside your 1st and goal from 5 and in. Take Gooseby, send him out, throw him the ball, and just let him start running people over.
And by the way,
better,
go ahead.
Cole Brevard. That guy can't be stopped by two guys. Like, just throw the ball to Cole Brevard and say go.
Yeah, I'll tell you what you do. Here's what you do off of that play. This week, Bama throws it to him, and then he throws to Ryan Williams. Oh, wait, Ryan will drop it. No, he throws to someone else that will catch it. That's what he should do. That'd be a good play. That'd be a good play. Okay, we were talking about different moves. I almost got a segue in, and then Bo kept talking. So I'll just say that, Jason, we will ask for a dick move, but before that, I want to dispel a rumor for everybody that is reporting that Jason threw a beer at somebody's wife at Star Ranch. That did not happen. That did not happen, and he did not boo anybody. Jason, tell him about the golf course.
The golf club at Star Ranch, it's my favorite place to play in all of Central Texas, maybe the world, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I don't throw beers, not because I'm a gentleman, because I like to drink beers. Now, that might be more unsafe for me than actually throwing it at a nice lady. So I'm not going to do either of those things. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make some pars at the golf club at Star Ranch because it's a golf course that you can score on, man. It's a super fun layout. If you're a great golfer, birdie available, eagle available. If you're not the greatest golfer, you're still going to have a good time. All right. Your bad shots is not going to hurt you that bad. And it's always in great shape. That's the best thing is even when it's 100 degrees all summer long, when all the other golf courses in Central Texas have turned brown and yellow, it is green and lush. The fairways beautiful at the golf club at Star Ranch. The greens running true. You can make putts out there and you can have a tournament out there. It's one of the things they specialize in at Star Ranch. If you've got a charity tournament or something else like that you'd like to organize, scan the QR code there, or you can call them for more details. And to set up your tee time, 252 Golf. It's the golf club at Star Ranch.
All right, Jason.
I don't think I've ever thrown a beer.
Never have any dick moves this week? Oh. It was a bye week, so you had time to sit back and really observe dick moves. Did you see any?
I got multiple things, and I am not going to bring up how a week ago the Longhorns beat a team 55-0 and got passed by the Aggies while they were off. This week the Aggies barely get by Auburn, an unranked nobody. You got 16 points, whatever, and moved up 4 spots. What the hell is going on here? I'm not going to bring that up. Going to bring that up because I want to talk. How about them Cowboys, Chad? We them boys. All right. Look, it is unfortunate that I am very pleased with a tie versus the Green Bay Packers. If you would have
that is unfortunate.
If you would have told me at 7 p.m. that you're going to get out of here with an overtime tie, I would have been like, all right, I accept. Man, if you would have told me at 8:15, 8:30, I would have said, definitely give me a tie. I will take it. But here's the thing, man. All right. The end of the game, I'm sure you guys saw, but I don't know, damn near midnight, I think. It's second down. Green Bay completes it inbounds, but he's tackled with 20 seconds left, and the clock is running. They got no timeouts. They run up to the line of scrimmage. I think he's just going to clock it and play for the tie, and I'm like, what a bitch move. But no, they run a play, all right? And Jordan Love throws it to the end zone, and the ball is batted down, and the clock stops with 1 second left, all right? Now, I don't know. Is AI doing the clock now? Is it automated? I'm not sure, because the Dallas Cowboys that I grew up loving and rooting for, that clock goes to 0, okay? You're playing at home, and the play ends with 1 second, game over, man. Game over, all right? The clock goes to 0. Jerry, you're slipping. Okay. People are going to talk about your inability to negotiate contracts. You're looking kind of rough, actually. We got to get Jerry. They cut up to the booth up there, and it looks like his face is falling out. He's got some sort of thing on his mouth. Like, Jerry, we need some makeup and an influencer light. That's what you need, buddy. Okay, we got to get somebody on that. But look, man, the Jerry Jones that I knew, all right, that came to Austin, Texas, and fired Tom Landry on the golf course, he knows that that clock goes to zero. All right, and whoever's running things up there right now, stopping the clock with 1 second left when you could have run it to zero. Dick move, man. Dick move.
Wow. I'm taken aback. Bo,
Chad, that clock's supposed to run to zero. All right.
I just think it's Bo. Go ahead. I have a comment, but I'm going to hold it.
You do realize that in the 2025 version of NFL, they have this booth and they keep their own clock, and therefore, even if some rogue 90-year-old lady runs the clock for Jerry, that the NFL says no, it's going to be this.
If that's the case, Bo, then I'll just reiterate, Jerry, you're slipping. All right. Forever, the entire league, all right, was a Bud Light sponsored league, except for the Cowboys who are like, no, we're a Miller Lite team. Okay. You 31 drink Bud Light. We're a Miller Lite team. And Jerry can say, I know that you guys run the clock in all those other stadiums, but here, all right, in the house that Jerry built, I'll push the button. Okay. And that clock runs to zero.
But
Jason,
Jerry's giving up because he built a team that can't win. So now he just has to sit there and drink.
Jason, I love that this team is so circus and they're so shiny and they're so fancy that they have distracted you to the point that you actually believe that a football detail would be covered or thought of or dealt with in any way. Jason, when they opened that stadium, the other teams noticed something instantly at Cowboy Stadium. Do you know what it was? It was that they couldn't find the play clock because they hadn't covered the detail of putting the play clock in a place that actually made sense. Then we had the sun shining in. But don't you have big panels you could use? Well, yeah, but you don't use them for games? No. Oh, you just oriented the stadium that way and you didn't think? Yeah. The idea that you even think that anyone in that stadium is thinking of that detail is adorable. This is the most adorable dick move that you've ever presented. Jerry Jones, you have succeeded. You have succeeded in fooling another fan. Well done. Good job, Jerry. Good job.
If you use the panels, nobody's going to see your sweet-ass big windows, okay? That's how you flex on the other team to be like, look how rich I am. Look at these windows over here, man. Right? We got a nightclub in the tunnel that the players run up, okay? That's how you know. That's how you let them know that you're better than them. Right?
Here's the other wild part about that. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't the famous moment with Colt in the Big 12 title game, wasn't that at Jerry World?
Versus Nebraska? It probably seems like it would have been. Yeah, Big 12 championship versus Nebraska.
I thought that was in the Alamo Dome for some reason.
That's the 09 season. That's the 09 season. The place opened in 08. Didn't they put that in Jerry World by that time? Big 12 title game?
Let's see here.
But that's what it felt like to me. It felt like that moment because I thought they got it right. And there should have been 1 second left. And, of course, the Nebraska people bitched. And who was the coach? Bo Pelini, right? Was the other coach.
December 5th, 2009 at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas.
There you go. So it's weird that it ended up being another 1 second deal. But I thought they got it right. And, Jason, the only thing we really needed there as Cowboy fans is I thought up to that moment, the Cowboys had actually shown themselves to be, by that much, the slightly more intelligent football team that night, and they actually needed to win it. That needed to go to – I agree with you. It needed to go to zero. The Packers needed to be made to pay for their mistakes.
That's dumb, terribly stupid.
A little more than the Cowboys were. The Cowboys – it was brilliant by the Cowboys if you think about it, because all they did was they just like party friended the Packers. If you've got that friend, I'll just say his name is Jimmy. Jimmy's the guy that no matter who he parties with, he'll make them a partier. The Cowboys Jimmy'd the Packers. That's exactly what they did.
Oh my God.
They made the Packers into the Giants like that. They're like, no, come on, come play NFC East crazy football with us. And the Packers were like, I don't know. I've never played like that. We usually tackle people. Forget tackling people. Just come play with us. And they turned them into the Green Bay Giants for a night. It was crazy.
You're right, Bo. I've jimmied so many people. I apologize. I didn't want any of that.
Both of you sons of bitches.
I didn't want any piece of that.
Not so much you now, Chance, but Jason, buddy.
Yeah. Can I ask you a barely related question? A tie. There's this. The old wise man said a tie is like kissing your sister.
Yes.
What the hell? What is that? What is this? Some sort of Alabama-ism? Like, I mean, I guess the idea is I'm scoring, but it's with my sister, so it's not awesome. No, it's awful on all fronts. Okay, it's not even awesome a little bit. The tie last night, I was like, okay, yeah, I can deal with a tie versus the Packers. Kissing your sister, somebody needs to work on that analogy. That is very
kissing the sister.
I guarantee you, nobody that has a sister would ever make that statement.
Yeah,
like that's a statement that like randos use because. I can assure you I've never said that.
Like a tie is gross. A tie is gross, but there's no way it can be that gross. And at some point, I just hope the NFL gets I hope somebody cares about it. We finally got rid of it in college football. I just can't believe it's 2025 and we're still giving the possibility. We're allowing, and they're making it easier, not harder. Because I bet you the next thing they're going to do is we should go to 5 minutes in overtime. Oh yeah, that'll fix the tie problem. That's the way to do it.
In this particular, I was arguing this via text with some friends. The players did this one to themselves. You can't blame the greedy ass owners or TV or any of that. This was part of the collective bargained agreement because they didn't want to play longer overtimes for health reasons or whatever. Now, it was a part of a negotiation to get more money and all those things. This was the compromise. Like, that was the compromise was we're only going to have a 10-minute overtime, and if it ends in a tie, then so be it, because we're not going to make you go play like the Aggies did. What was it, 7 overtimes when they had the goofy rules? Because the owners wanted the goofy rules. The owners wanted, put it at the 30-yard line, and let's just see how many times we can score because we can just keep selling beers and we can keep making money and everybody's happy. The players said, no, we need a finite line of when we're not playing anymore.
Yeah. By the way, Bo, I'm glad you brought the game up that scares everybody. Here, I have the information from the A&M 7 overtime game. There were, carry the 4. No players died. No one was carried off the field. And for those in attendance, the game was, what does that say? Oh, freaking awesome. Yeah, it was freaking awesome. I was there. I don't know why that game scared anyone. I don't know why that game changed any rule at any point anywhere. The NFL needs to move towards the college idea, not away from it. Pick a yard line. Get rid of kicks at any point you want and get a winner. You do a kicking contest. Throw it into a bucket. We don't need a tie in an NFL game.
I agree.
Much like soccer has always annoyed me because they get to the end and they're like, well, let's just play a totally different game, go to penalty kicks. Didn't they do this in the All-Star game in baseball as well? They had like a home run swing off type thing.
Exactly.
If it is tied at the end of regulation, we will determine the winner with a sister kissing contest.
Whatever. Fine. They just got to get a
Jerry
winner.
Jones would be all for it, being from Arkansas and all.
When we were growing up, fellas, college football games didn't have any overtime at all. If you ended in a tie, it was just a tie. It's so stupid. And the NFL just, heck, every time it happens, the joke is usually that one of the players doesn't even know it's real. Remember the Donovan McNabb moment? I didn't even know there could be a tie. It's like, oh my God, you didn't even know there could be a tie. Like, I just don't understand how they don't get rid of it. So I'll be honest with you, Jason, in my soul as a fan, when that ball was in the air, I kind of wanted it to be one or the other, one way or the other. I wanted it to either the clock runs out and they get punished, or I wanted someone to catch that football because I hate ties. I'd rather lose. I would rather there have been a loser.
You obviously don't have a sister.
Exactly. And I don't have a sister. And if everybody looks carefully, the Cowboys and Packers helmet behind me are both upside down and turned away from each other because of the embarrassment of being involved in a tie in the NFL. It should never happen.
There's a bunch that are turned upside down. What's going on here? You got beef with the Cardinals, the Raiders.
The new punishment is if you lose, I used to turn them towards the corner to make them think about what they did, Jason, but now it's upside down. Losers go upside down until we reset on Tuesdays.
All right.
So, yes.
Both of them. Both.
Right. We record Outsiders here on Monday nights, and as we speak, we still have a couple games active. But if you lose, you go upside down in the Hall of Helmets. If you tie, you both go upside down because ties are stupid. That's how we do it. All right. I'll tell you what's not stupid is Last Stand hats. Let's take a look at these. We have not shown you these Last Stand hats before, but check this out. This might be an idea for the family. This might be the kids' idea. Like, I don't know, maybe you got a little Bama fan in your house, the doodle elephant. Doesn't even have to be a Bama fan. They could just love elephants. But look, these are hats inspired by 4-year-olds' imagination. It's like 4-year-olds helped design the hats. How awesome is this? If you got UTSA people, Doodle Bird. If you got Texas State folk, the Doodle Cat. There's a Doodle Horse. If you got SMU people, look at the Doodle Horn. Come on. Who wouldn't wear that to a game? Doodle Hog is bad on every level, but that has nothing to do with the kids. Kids, it's fine, but no one should make that hat. But if you check them out, Last Stand hats, you can check the Doodle collection out as well. They've got all kinds of great stuff at Last Stand hats, the True Fans brand, and they've got the Outsiders. Look at Bo. Bo's changed
This is
one of the hats.
Special edition hat that I made for our offense this year. All breaks.
The all breaks hat. That's right.
Yeah. They're not selling this one on the website, but if we stink it up against Florida, I think it's coming to a store near you.
Bo has the all breaks hat. They've also got the Outsiders. 12 different combos. 12 different combos, kids, if you need it.
None of them end in a tie.
Yeah.
No ties. No ties.
I love that doodle horn. Bo, grab me one of those if you would, buddy. But I can't get a job, and Last Stand Hats is hiring 4-year-olds. What is going on, man? What is happening?
It said it was inspired by 4-year-olds.
Oh,
hiring 4-year-olds.
Okay,
They're maybe just channeling their inner 4. But it might be a good way.
A 4-year-old.
Hey, look, as the father of a child of a now 19-year-old daughter that I just never could get into football or sports, if I could go back in time and buy a doodle hat, I would have bought a doodle hat because maybe that's a way to get the kid involved early on.
Yeah.
Give it a shot. Outsiders, use that code Outsiders10 if you get your hats there at Last Stand hats. All right, we talked about surprise teams, surprise events. Anything else from the bye week, gentlemen, that we need to discuss?
I do. It's more of an Austin centric, not a sports centric. But I mean, for those of you that grew up in Austin and y'all remember the yogurt shop murders and how terrible that was, and after all this time, like those families can finally, you never get over it, but you can at least close the door a little bit. I thought that was pretty cool. They were finally able to identify the actual killer through DNA technology. So I thought that was pretty awesome.
Wow. I didn't realize that had happened. That's cool.
Yeah.
Got announced.
He's been dead for a while.
That's cool. I watched that documentary and everything. I know it was I
rewatched it. I rewatched it on Saturday night because I was like, I just want to go back. You know, we watch these documentaries, and now that we know who actually did it, to go back and watch the documentary was really kind of fascinating.
Yeah, was he in it? Yeah. Like I haven't watched the documentary. Was he like a suspect at any point? Or
wow, that's crazy. He wasn't even a part of it. The thing. Okay,
yeah. Guys, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't add a flippant comment to this very heartfelt, sincere thing from Chance. But let me just ask you, why do slight inconveniences happen to people who are not outright terrible? I went, as I always do every morning, to watch The View today, and it was preempted by a press conference on the yogurt shop murders. What's going on, man? What's going on? Okay, I have to watch The View at abc.com now. What the?
I can without
ABC. Dick move.
I would like to wager that there's only one person in the quad box that has ever considered watching The View.
Look, man, When Whoopi's on a roll, you don't get in her way, man. All right?
No,
me.
she's like a water buffalo. She farts, she smells, she says dumb things.
It's me. That's
Water
going to be me.
buffaloes don't talk, Chance.
They do in my world.
I'm not a consistent watcher of The View, but of these four people, I am the only one that might watch occasionally. I'll admit that. But I'm old. I'm an old man.
Well, I was thinking Jason sits down with his Cheerios at 10 a.m. and clocks in.
No, I might be the only one.
At 10
All right,
a.m., I'm watching Fringe reruns.
Before we get out of here, let me remind everybody again, it is The Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho. And reminder, because this is the last one. If you're watching us either Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, before October the 1st, just a reminder again, that natty back guarantee. Look for that football because you got to get it by October 1st. But if you get the natty back shirt and your team wins the national title, you get the full refund. These are your three choices. If you're a Longhorn fan, remember there are 9 other teams in that natty back category, including A&M, Oklahoma, Bama, LSU, Georgia, and more. So go check those out as well. Also, like we told you, they've got polos now at Poncho. Go check out the field polo. These are the first 4, but they won't be the last 4. They're going to start creating, I'm sure, a whole lot of these. But go check them out. The finest quality as always. Go ponchooutdoors.com/outsiders. Also, we remind you, you can wear your poncho tucked or untucked to your favorite sporting events like I might have done this past weekend. They do it in all kinds of colors and, go ahead and get yourself a poncho. It's good stuff. ponchooutdoors.com/outsiders for $10 off your first order.
For sure. And before, just on a Jason side note, because I noted this during the Cowboy game. Those big helmet things that a couple of the players are awesome. Why the hell don't they have Tua Tagovailoa in one of those goofy Tecmo Bowl big helmets?
Yeah, I think they look awesome. Okay, do you look like you belong in a video game? Yeah, probably.
Are you talking about the one that the guy from the Packers was wearing? The
Romeo Dobbs.
Last night there were 2 of them.
Romeo Dobbs has it
with a Guardian helmet next to each other,
and another receiver. And I guess it's to protect them against concussions. And if it works, Bo, you're right. Why is it Tua and every player in the NFL wearing it? Okay, everybody should have a big Sims head. All right.
You know what it looks like to me? Did y'all ever play? There was a video game that you could play on the computer called Backyard Baseball, and they had they were like the little kids.
Yeah.
Giant heads.
Yeah.
I literally had to second guess the decision I made to drink it was one of these.
They look like Jimmy Neutrons running around.
It had one of these Cheech and Chong high teas, and then I saw 2 guys with big heads, and I'm like, what the hell? This is awesome.
Hey, if you catch it.
Jenny!
I go,
am I seeing
something? I was like, Jenny, am I seeing guys with big heads? She goes, they're wearing the caps. And I was like, they should all.
Come here.
Here's the other thing.
Normal size?
The other thing I love about it is the weird detail that I think they even they have the American flag on the back of it like they do the regular helmet, but then the way it connects to the helmet, it's not like some, super scientific. It's just like a tarp. It's like they just put it over and then there's hooks that just go in to tie on. It's like something you would tie on to a pickup truck.
Right.
If you're
moving
driving
a mattress. Okay.
Exactly. If I bungeed a mattress down, I'm helping a buddy move across town. It's fantastic.
Every team should have at least one guy on offense and one guy on defense wearing the big head. It makes for a much more enjoyable watch.
Hey, Bo, they're not just for offensive linemen anymore. When we were young, it's like sometimes the offensive linemen would get into it, special teams guys. Now you've got elite wide receivers, the best. That dude is wide receiver 1 for Jordan Love. And his head looked 8 feet
You know what they need to get them for when they sit on the sideline is those giant hats that you see people wearing in the stand.
Yeah.
They could put it.
Are you allowed to tackle a guy by his mattress helmet? Can you grab on?
But I want to see the day when a hard-hitting safety, like a Troy Polamalu type, puts one on. And then he hits somebody, and the crowd announcer plays "Isn't It Ironic" by Alanis Morissette.
Jason, I think the answer is no, right? If I reach out, I can grab hair and stuff like that. But if I reach out and I grab that and I can't grab it and bring him down with it. Can I?
I don't know. I don't know the rules for these things.
I don't know, but it was a delightful experience to enjoy a high tea and watch the big heads roll around.
Chance, am I allowed? If I can chase him down, can I reach out and unhook it and then grab the flap? Can I do that?
It's like pulling the flag in flag football.
Exactly.
His helmet's off.
Hey, right. I got the helmet. I got that. Can I just hold that? All right. I think that will just about do it, gentlemen. Anybody else got any business this week? Other than we'll, of course, have another show and make picks and stuff.
Thursday is going to be a special show for Outsider. The show we tape on Thursday will be a special show for Outsider Nation.
Yes.
It will be after that show, we will have gone over 500,000 downloads of our podcast or whatever the heck it's called.
Well done. Thank you all.
500K is a decent number.
We're
halfway to Chance's goal of 1 million by the end of football season.
That's right. And if we get to 1 million, Chris Bennett, we just might bring it back live like you've been begging for it, but we have no control over this. We thank you guys for checking us out. We debut on Tuesdays, and this week it's Friday as well. So Friday at 10 a.m., we'll debut the Pick'em Show. We'll all pick the Texas-Florida game, and who knows, maybe we talk about some of the other big games of the week. We will see. Remember, it's a 2:30 kick for Texas and Florida. Get on out to TCH Social Austin 183 in Anderson Mill for the watch party. Come watch it with us. We'll have Vandy in Alabama on one of those other big screens too. If you haven't seen the biggest screen in the ATX, come check it out. In fact, before we get out of here, I'm going to show you the biggest screen in the ATX. That's it right there. We're going to put the Texas-Florida game right in the middle. We're going to put Bama Vandy on another one of those screens. We might even peek in on Penn State and Oklahoma, who all have handled your business games on Saturday. So come on out and see us. It'll be a good time at TCH.
I know some people at TCH Social, and they agreed to put The View on one of the screens for me. So we're going to
Jason's going to be watching The View on that lower left. We'll all be watching football on the other ones. Thank y'all for
how the big heads look on a big screen like that.
Oh, yeah, I've not. They aren't allowed to show Packers games, Bo, because Dobbs' head just looks way too big.
It was two of them though. It was Dobbs and one of the other receivers. I think it was Malik Heath. They ran a stack formation and they had two big heads. And I literally looked at my wife. I go, "Am I seeing something wrong? It looks like two big heads."
I think there's a new rule that both those guys cannot be in the slot at the same time. It's an illegal formation. You're not allowed to do that. It's too distracting for the defense. All right. Thank y'all for liking, subscribing, getting your notifications. Until Friday when we debut at 10 a.m., we are the Outsiders, and we are legitimately worth a shit. See ya.